Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is CERN, war, credit cards, and if we get time, we're going to talk about giants a little bit. Okay, first of all, let's start with we need a social manager at Prophecy Club. Now, by that, I mean we need someone that can take our broadcast, turn that into Instagram, Twitter, TikTok to put out daily. Also, we need someone that can also promote Prophecy Club, Spirit of Prophecy Church on the same, all of these social medias. This is a full-time or a part-time position, and you can work from your home. If you're interested, send us an email at the email on the screen. First headline, rare view from plane leaves internet speechless, and this is not a normal sight. Now, this is not exactly the view. Apparently it was some kind of copyright problem. You can't put it up, but it's essentially it's showing something like that. This particular picture was one taken, it says strange colored skies due to the portal activity at CERN. These northern lights were seen in central New York, and sad to say, it's probably true. And we're probably going to see more strange things. As you recall, I believe it's Luke 21 says that there'll be signs of the sun and the moon, stars upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity. That word perplexity means that there's no solution. They don't know how to fix it. With perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear for looking after those things that are coming upon the earth. The article goes on to say, a video of a plane passenger's unexpected view during a flight from San Francisco to New York. The city has gone viral on TikTok, where it received 2.1 million views at the time of writing. And he says this is not a normal sight for this route. And I think if you look at it, you'll also see it is. For that, we'll send you to empshield.com. Use the promo code PROPHECY, and that'll help your Prophecy Club. But it's a little device about the size of a package of cigarettes. Stick it underneath your hood, hook it to your battery. Another one to your grid or into your fuse box in your home, and it'll protect your home. EMPShield.com, they got videos, show you how to hook it up. I'm not a mechanic. It took me about 10 minutes. Mysterious heartbeat is coming from our sun. Scientists detect repeating pattern in a solar flare more than 31,000 miles above the massive star's surface. Do you also recall Canary Islands were being hit with a similar pulse, and that's when that they were afraid that it was going to turn into some kind of a volcano or possibly split the Canary Islands, causing a massive tsunami going across the ocean and hitting the east coast of the United States. Well, I can't prove it, but it is my guess that it is scalar wave. What? Scalar wave can hit the sun? Yep. It can hit any place, and it's pretty much undetectable. Any place in the air, on the land, on the sea, under the sea, any place apparently in the entire universe. And I believe they're hitting the sun. Can't prove that, but I believe they're hitting the sun. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved, and the earth is moved exceedingly. So that's fitting with Bible prophecy. These are the kind of things that we should be seeing if we truly are in the last days. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed from like a cottage. Now, a cottage is like a hammock. In other words, it's swinging like this in the wind. That's what it's saying. Powerful solar storm has unexpected strong impact on the earth, and it delays a SpaceX rocket launch and stalls oil rigs in Canada. And as you can see, these are some, I know those are northern lights, but northern lights are appearing in places where northern lights have never appeared before. All of this is the portals are playing with the CERN. They're trying to destroy the earth. I mean, that's what Satan does. He comes not but for to steal, to kill, and destroy. A powerful solar storm that swept across the earth on Monday forced SpaceX to delay a Starlink launch from Florida and temporarily disrupted operations of several Canadian oil rigs as GPS signals were too inaccurate. Now, you remember that's one of the headlines that John Paul Jackson was told that they would be looking for where is the North Pole. SpaceX eventually launched those satellites after the geomagnetic storm. 4.5 hours after the originally scheduled launch time. So we see that CERN and this other high technology is affecting our world. SpaceX has been cooperating with NOAA since the mishap in February last year, which saw the company lose a batch of 40 satellites after launching them right into a relatively mild geomagnetic storm. In other words, that got their attention. As you recall, Revelation 8:7 says, "The first angel sounded, there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And a third part of the trees was burned up, and all green grass was burned up." Could it be that it's CERN hitting our sun causing these things? Oh, well, that would destroy the earth. Lucifer wouldn't do that. Well, it's not Lucifer doing that. This is the first angel sounded. This is the first trumpet. So it's God doing it, but it may be CERN doing it at the command of God. I don't know how all that works. So I'd recommend you go to cornerstoneassetmetals.com, get yourself some gold and silver because you're going to need it. It is God's money. And in a time of great difficulty, they're always going to be taking gold and silver coins. You can always trade for what you need using gold and silver. You don't have to buy anything right now. Call them, open an account, start talking, say, look, here's my situation. What do you think I ought to do? Next topic is Satan Club. We've talked about this before. Hey kids, let's have fun at After School Satan Club. So this one particular high school has a Satan Club. Now, the point being, if they can have a Satan Club, why can't we have Bible studies? After School Satan Club coming to an elementary school near you. Oh, yes, isn't that going to be wonderful? Our children can dress up as little Satanists, bad stuff. See, we are the mystery of Babylon. And I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great glory, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So, there you go. So we can't blame God when he destroys our nation when we've let this sort of stuff go on. Now let's talk about war. British Stormer, surface-to-air missiles spotted in Ukraine. Okay, so the Brits, as well as the Americans, have been handing rocks to the Ukrainians. Why? Because they are the Ashkenazi Jews that are not really Jews. They're really Nazis. These are the people that we were fighting in World War II, and now we're fighting on their side against the Russians. So we've switched sides, in so many words. Today is the day, allegedly, according to Hal Turner. He says big shot officials are going into the bunkers. A senior aide and a sitting U.S. senator for 25 years was told earlier this week, pack your bags and get ready to leave for the hotel. And of course, the phrase the hotel is a government speak for nuclear bunkers. We also know, he says, Senator Fetterman was admitted to a hospital. Senator Fetterman's wife took his kids and left for Canada. We also know that Governor DeWine of Ohio allegedly broke his leg in East Palestine. Governor Newsom of California left the state on personal travel. Now, maybe it doesn't mean anything. Or maybe they know something that we don't know. It is, in my opinion, and based upon the prophecies, it is not time for World War III. It's not time for the Russians to attack America. As you recall, we've covered this many times. So I'm just going to let you pause and read it. But that's very important. Those are six things that we're looking for. But the point is here, America is not going to be hit by nuclear weapons from Russia until after oil has been discovered in Israel. And I'm talking about massive amounts of oil that has not been discovered to this point. And then that oil is going to be used to build up Israel's military for World War III. So we're not at Russians attacking us yet. And this also was confirmed to Leslie, where it says that Omar ushers in Palestinian state, so they will give the Palestinians a state. Then when they do that, it's going to be America twisting Israel's arm. So we split Israel, so God splits America. Now, again, we got to pray against that. And for that, you can go to prophecyclub.com, and you can sign up and become part of the fast gap team where you stand in the gap and pray against this evil for our nation. So you should be writing those down. Also, Chris Reed said basically the same thing. If you'll look through this, I've read this many times, so I won't read it again, or we won't get to some new stuff. So essentially it says that dollar is going to drop 30%, it says that right here. So we see the dollar drop, food crisis, riots, then we see the two-state solution, then we see the earthquake, the same thing that Prophet Leslie saw. Then there's a state seceding from the Union. Then the military takes charge. That's probably the internal revolution. Then we see after that, if this is in order, and I think it is, then we see the digital currency come out. So even then it says the digital currency is still not ready to come out if these are in order. Next headline, Russia Duma members calling for a declaration of war. So Russia is now openly calling to declare war on Ukraine. No more just a military operation, a special military operation. They're now saying we need to officially declare war. Members of the Russian lower house parliament, which they call the Duma, are now openly calling for an actual declaration of war over the Ukraine situation. This comes as France became the first NATO country to announce that they may provide the Mirage 2000 fighter jets to Ukraine. That's serious. That's serious stuff right there. Russia knows Ukrainians cannot be quickly trained to fly them, so it'll have to be NATO pilots flying them. And the Russians, it seems, have finally had enough. So, the member of the Russian State Defense Committee said that Russia absolutely needs to end the, quote, special operation and start a real war. Now, you remember Vicky Goforth Parnell was told from now on there would be wars. War would expand and go around the globe. Now let's talk about credit cards. Covert intel credit markets next week, as in this week I'm making this. It says, source within a very well-known, long-established, and very large retail chain says, we just had an emergency conference call. Corporate wants our over 2,000 retail locations to immediately push all credit card, credit, and financing packages because next week banks are pulling them nationwide en masse. Now that means this week they're going to be pushing the use of credit cards, financing packages, and they're basically saying what? They're saying either they're going away or they're being drastically cut. We have over 2,000 locations, been in business since the 1930s. We're a strong performer in mowers, ATVs, and implements. Corporate said many banks are pulling, look at this, it's important. Many banks are pulling all credit card and financing options. Now, it didn't say they're turning off the cards. It didn't say they're turning off the ATMs, but it could be hinting that's the next step. Pulling all credit card and financing options they are customarily offered to retail customers, which, in times past, allowed customers to spread the payments out on the $8,000 for, say, a mower. Now, I think this is the way that works. Okay, so you buy an $8,000 mower, and if you want to, you could just make the minimum payment. But it may be saying, no, if you put that $8,000 mower on there, you've got to pay that off the very next time. Now, it doesn't explain exactly what is happening. But since we know the dollar is going to fall by 30%, then to 50%, 66%, finally be worthless as leaves blowing in the wind, we have to think something bad is coming. Remember, I also told you last Thursday morning I woke up and the Lord was speaking to my heart. I didn't hear any audible voice, but what he spoke in my, I've felt this, I'm going to say about 4 other times through the years. And this was times when Prophecy Club was about to be in a financial jam. And I think that he's saying the same thing. Now, I don't think Prophecy Club is going to be in a financial jam for anything we're doing. I think it's saying that the whole nation's about to be in a financial jam. So that fits with what we're talking about here. Now let's talk about world government. Update. Biden regime confirms commitment to legally binding agreement, which will surrender U.S. Pandemic Authority to Chinese-backed World Health Organization for generations to come. It says the Biden regime publicly affirmed their commitment to a, quote, legally binding accord in a press conference Monday, which will give the World Health Organization control over the U.S. pandemic policies. Now, if we give control to the WHO in panic or pandemic situations, is this like if you give a person a bite, they eat the whole fish? In other words, is this only an open door to move to world government? Well, I thought so. But then about that time, I got that big yawn, and I believe the Lord is saying, no, this is not the way that they will come to world government. But it is one of the ways they'd like to get there. They will take it any way they can get it. The article goes on to say, once a health emergency is declared, every signatory, including the United States, must submit to that authority of the WHO. This includes caving to them on the treatments, lockdowns, vaccine mandates, along with government surveillance, so they can shut us down. They shut down businesses, shut down schools. They can do it again, only much more effectively with more authority. Even more chilling, the Biden regime does not feel that they need to submit this agreement for Senate approval because they're not calling it an official treaty, despite it having the same full force of one. Now let's jump to something else we've covered once before, end of public commercial air travel. And in this case, it happened to me. I recall it very specifically. October 12, 2006. I was waking up and I saw a vision of a small jet. I say small because it had the stairway up next to the jet. People were going up the stairways. And I heard an audible voice say, 2 men will get on a plane with a virus, and before the plane can land, everyone on board will be dead. This will be the beginning of the end of public air transportation. I said, what? In other words, like, what are you saying? I got rebuked. The voice said again, you weren't listening. And I thought, yeah, my wife says that often. You weren't listening. 2 people will get on the plane with a virus. Before the plane can land, everyone on board will be dead. Now, the point here I'm trying to make is this is saying that there is another virus coming, and it's going to be big enough and bad enough to kill everybody on a plane in the air before the plane can land. Now, I'm no pilot, but if it takes off from the ground, you would think that it would be able to land pretty quickly. That means that this is a bad virus that can kill very quickly. I'm just going to guess that by the time the first person in the plane starts getting sick, then the next person, before long, they're going to say, we got to get on the ground. And before they can get on the ground, the pilots are dead too. Everyone on board is dead. Now, I've prayed about this a lot through the years. I've asked myself, why did God tell me this? I used to think that this is saying, Stan, if you want to get you and your family out of America, this is your last chance. And so I was thinking what we need to do is just sell everything and probably move to Israel. I don't think so. I think it is telling me that, yes, this event is happening. But I also think that it's saying when it happens would be a very good time to buy an airline. I didn't say an airplane, an airline. See, that's one of the things I want to do when we hit oil in Israel. I want to be able to buy an airline and work together with Israelis to bring back Christians and Jews from around the world for the last days, because I believe it is Ezekiel 39, the very last verse. Ezekiel 39 says, and I will leave none of them there. That means every Jew on the planet will go back to Israel. And that's all part of Armageddon in the last days and things like that. And most Christians will also go. So I want to be able to buy an airline to fly people from around the world back to Israel. And I believe this is telling me now that when I see this, would be a very good time to start making steps to buy an airline. I don't know exactly how all that happens, but I look at it like this. When he told me June 14th of 2008, quote, "Stan, I will give you the money to drill the well in Israel," unquote. And by the way, anytime I say that, I have to give you a disclaimer. We cannot guarantee we're ever going to get the money, drill for, or hit oil in Israel. But when he said that, I didn't totally understand what he was really saying, but I believe that when he gives me the roughly $50 million it would take to drill the well, he's also going to give us the people, the location, exactly where to drill. It's all his project, because I would have never done this. I'm not an oil man, but I'm saying that's what I think it is now. I think it's saying this would be a very good time for you to start making steps to buy an airline, because airlines are going to be for sale. Once this happens, airlines will be for sale real quick for real low prices. Let's go on. Daniel 7:23 says, "The fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth. This is your world government, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces." Well, that has to do with CERN, the portals, causing this pulsating to come to the sun, which could burn all green grass up, which could also be the releasing of a virus that could kill people in an airplane before it can even land. Then you go to verse 24, and the 10 horns, that's where they've divided the 7 continents into 10 global regions. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings, so each one of those global regions has a ruler, and they blaspheme God. And he shall rise, and another shall rise after them, the 11th one, that would be the Antichrist. And he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. Now, think about this a second. If we are in the tribulation, 7-year tribulation, then wouldn't that also mean that we would have to already see that they divided up the 7 continents into 10 global regions? Could it be that they've already divided them up? That the fourth beast is actually already in place? They just haven't bothered to tell us? Revelation 13:1, "I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea. The sea is people. The beast is world government, having 7 heads and 10 horns, 7 continents, divided into 10 global regions. And upon his horns 10 crowns, which means each one of them has a leader, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy." So these 10 rulers blaspheme God. What is that? 10 was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. Power is given him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. That is the blasphemy. Now, what am I saying? All of these are signs that we're getting very close, possibly even are, in the tribulation. And the reason I'm not real anxious to declare to everybody that I believe that the tribulation started, because I think we're in no hurry. I think that we're going to see signs enough to where we will be able to confirm, as Terry Bennett said, that the tribulation actually started August the 6th of 2022 on the Feast of Atonement. We'll know soon enough. So, what's all this saying? CERN, and apparently, according to Vicky Parnell, not just one of them, but apparently there's portals not only on the earth, under the earth, also on other planets. So these portal machines are doing great damage to our earth, to our atmosphere, and possibly even to the sun as well. They're destroying the earth, and that fits with the prophecy where it says, and will destroy them which destroyeth the earth. We know that there's great trouble coming. What do? First thing, most important thing, is ask Jesus to forgive your sins. Ask him to be your God. Second, ask Jesus to show you what you need to do to get prepared. Is it a water filter? Is it an EMP pulse thing? Is it going to Joseph's Kitchen and getting yourself some food and the wherewithal to eat? Whatever it is, you're running out of time. 2 Chronicles 20:20. Go look it up. Believe God's prophets, and so shall you prosper.
Today, we live in unsettling times. Have you ever wondered what you're going to do when food is no longer on the shelves? I'm Leslie, owner and founder of Joseph's Kitchen, and I want to show you how to make healthy, homemade, whole wheat bread for only a few $100s a year. At Joseph's Kitchen, our goal is to help you live a more healthy and prepared life. Our products are ready for everyday use, but are also designed for long-term storage. Whether you are looking to make healthy, homemade, whole wheat bread, or want to be sure your family is prepared, Joseph's Kitchen is pre-packaged to take all the guesswork out. We personally test each harvest to make sure you are getting the highest quality ingredients.
Are you and your family prepared for what may lie ahead? At Joseph's Kitchen, we are your farm-to-table alternative. Go to josephskitchen.com to order today. And be sure to use the promo code on screen to receive your free gift. Don't get caught unprepared. Go to josephskitchen.com now.
So, Terry Saka of CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. Why should someone call you today?
Well, the dollar used to be the world dominant reserve currency known as unipolar. It no longer is. It is now a multipolar world where Russia and China and others known as the BRICS are forming commodity-backed currencies to challenge the dollar. The dollar's day is coming. The dollar is going to crash. When it does, owning gold and silver during that period will transfer wealth not away from you, but to you. And being prepared is vital at this moment.
Terry Saka, CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. Give him a call. Go online today. Leslie Johnson had a prophecy back in 2011. She says, the Lord says there's going to be something put into the water supply in many cities of the nation. People will begin to get sick. Some will die. Get a good, reliable water filter. You will not be able to trust the tap water or the bottled water. You must get something to filter the water you are going to need. That's back in 2011. So if you want it, we suggest you go to prophecyclub.com. You click right here where it says Berkeys. This is what it looks like. Currently, all Berkeys are in stock. The one I have is this guy right here. It's the Crown. It has 8 filters. I recommend you get as much as you can afford, and also recommend you get some extra filters. That's at prophecyclub.com. Next is, I'll send you to EMPShield.com. If you use the promo word prophecy, you get a $50 discount. What is that? Well, it looks like this. This is the one that goes into a car, okay? And you put the red wire to the red side of the battery. You put the black wire to the black side of the battery, and the green one attaches to the body of the car. Then you peel it off right back here. Just peel that off, stick it inside of the engine compartment of your car. And the whole point is when the electricity goes off, or when some kind of a suitcase nuclear device goes off, this is supposed to be able to stop that device from destroying every computer chip in your car. Because if every computer chip is destroyed in your car these days, you couldn't possibly replace them all. Throw the car away. So, EMPShield.com, promo code prophecy.